Did you know you could keep the Endlers live bears with shrimp and actually get them to breed in the same exact tank? That's pretty cool, right? In this video, we're going to be diving into the breeding rack behind me, and we're going to look at a couple of my Endlers live bear strain tanks where I'm also breeding some Neocaridina shrimp as well. And we're not only going to be looking into my tanks today, but we're going to go on the other side of the world, all the way to Australia, and dive into one of Aqua Mate's tanks as well, where he's been having some similar success with the Endlers live bears mixed with shrimp. One thing that we thought would be cool was that we're on two opposite sides of the world, yet we're both having success with this Endler and shrimp breeding setup. So we're going to compare some water parameters and look at some differences in our tanks. So let's go ahead and dive in. What is going on, and welcome. If this is our first time meeting, I am Kendall Water from Otter Creek Aquatics, and if you're looking to grow your aquarium keeping skills or looking for other videos pertaining to the aquarium hobby, then make sure you go ahead and consider subscribing so you don't miss any of my upcoming weekly videos. Now let's go ahead and dive into that Endlers with shrimp tanks.
So this is my 10-gallon Endler breeding tank, and as you can see at the back there we have red cherry shrimp. I started with about 5 in this tank, and now there is probably, I don't know, 50, 60. For every shrimp you can see, there are probably another 5 or 6 or 10 hiding somewhere. So you can see a few sitting there right there. Full disclosure, I do no maintenance on this tank. I never do water changes, I just top up. So it's kind of its own little ecosystem. It's been like this for 1 year, and everything seems to thrive in here. So I don't really want to change that. Now, with the Endlers, they are black bar Endlers, and I started with a couple males and just a couple females, and yeah, they're Endlers. So the rest of the story, you know the answer. You know how it goes. They bred really quickly, and they grow up rather fast. There is one fish in here that is not an Endler. She is a black guppy. Not exactly sure of the technical name, but she has probably been the mother of most of the babies. And then you can see the male black bar Endler towards the back. They created this little guy. So you can see there's a bit of a difference there. But this is the tank. The thing that we were talking about that we found could be really interesting is that 0 water changes, temperature is set at 24 degrees, pH is 6.8. The only plants I have in here are this moss that you're looking at right now, and Java moss as well. I can't remember the name of this moss, and I love it. It's like my favourite plant. So you can see that these plants are doing alright, and with minimal fuss. You can see they're kind of cleaning the water as well. This tank, I have had maybe 250 babies through this tank in the last 6-7 months. Every female here is actively giving birth, and I think that there's a few that are definitely pregnant right now, maybe 2 or 3. Catching a little bit of a mating ritual on the right, but it's a really basic setup. Big point of difference. Under gravel filter. So filtration in this system is just an under gravel filter. That's where I think that the shrimp are doing such a great job and being successful as well, because there's no shortage of food for them. This is just the Endler fry tank. This was one group that I was trying to grow out. You can see there's another one of those black guppies / Endlers. The colours do not do justice on the screen. They are so much prettier in person. The only thing we've got extra in here is just a couple mystery snails. I just had so many that I've just spread them across my tanks. And I've just put in some of the Java moss and that other plant again. Same setup, 24 degrees, 6.8 pH. And there's probably about 12 or 13 fry in here that are probably getting to about an inch long, maybe a bit over an inch. He is that crossbreed, and there is a black bar male. He looks exactly like all the other black bar males, just a little bit smaller and a little less colour because he's younger, but they seem to be the dominant male, so they've got their colour and they're holding the others back from getting their colour at the moment, but that'll all change when they all get a little bit bigger.
If you're currently breeding any endlers or shrimp, let me know down in the comments which strains and what your successes are with them. And if you're not currently breeding either, let me know which strains you would like to keep. Here on the breeding rack, I've got my endler tanks in the middle row. So I've got 4 different tanks, 4 different strains. And here on the bottom left, I've got 2 other tanks with 2 other strains. I've got the El Silverados, Yellow Tigers, Lime Green, Blue Star, and on the bottom I've got a wild type, which is number 17 Capoma, which were first discovered in 2008 at the Capoma Bridge in Venezuela. And then I've got the Santa Maria Endlers. Unfortunately, I'm not breeding shrimp in this tank as well, so we're not going to be looking at them today. But let me know down in the comments below if you would like to see a separate video on the Santa Maria Endlers. But we're actually going to be looking at 3 of my tanks today. We're going to be looking at the Yellow Tigers, the El Silverados, and the number 17 Capoma Venezuelan Endlers. So up first for my tanks, we've got the Yellow Tiger Endlers. And these have been my absolute favorite endler since the first time I seen them. I knew that I had to get me some, and I've turned it into a pretty nice little colony. For the shrimp in this tank, we've got some painted fire red cherry shrimp. And the color on these shrimp is just absolutely amazing. And as you can see, I keep a little bit of algae on the glass because they really love to just graze on it. And we have a little tiny shrimp right there. And that shrimp was actually born and raised in this tank. So I know that they're actively breeding. When it comes to maintenance on my endler tanks, I usually do about a 20% water change a week. I have a 7.8 pH. And the temperature runs right around 73.7 degrees Fahrenheit. Next is the El Silverados. And these fish have the best dorsal fin that I have ever seen on an endler. For the shrimp in this tank, we have yellow goldenbacks, which have a really bright yellow line down the center of their back. I have yet to see any new shrimp in this tank, but the females are getting the saddle on their back, which is a sign that they're ready to breed. This tank runs a little bit cooler, right around 72.9 degrees Fahrenheit. Third, we've got our number 17 Capoma Venezuelan Endlers. And these are a wild type of endler, and they were first discovered in 2008 at Capoma Bridge, Venezuela. And these guys are really stunning, and it's been a whole lot of fun working with them. As you can see, a couple of them look a little off-colored, like Aqua Mate was talking about earlier. But this is just simply because the other ones are more dominant and are holding them back from getting their color. This tank runs the warmest out of the 3 at 74.9 degrees Fahrenheit. And I've been seeing regular spawning out of the endlers and the yellow Neocaridina shrimp that I keep in this tank. For filtration on this rack, I use the dual sponge filters that suction cup to the glass, and each row runs off of its own single air pump. Question of the day. Which of these points that we talked about today is leading to our success? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and if you're not already, go check out Aqua Mate. He's got some really good content. Go over there, give him a subscription, and let him know you came from this video. Thank you all for watching. Keep following your dreams, keep inspiring, and until next time, see ya!
What is going on, everybody? I'm Kendall Otter. Welcome to Otter Creek Aquatics. And if you're looking to grow your skills in the aquarium hobby or looking for more videos pertaining to the aquarium hobby, please consider subscribing.
In this video, we're going to be diving into the breeding rack behind me, and we're going to be fuck.